Hello, dear candidates. Welcome to the GC Maths panel. This presentation is a guide of June 2020 paper 1 for ordinary level and the intermediate level. You would have noted that with the change in the way things are being done in the country, both the general and the technical write the same paper 1 for ordinary level mathematics. Alright, so we begin with the questions. Question 1 reads, simplify 6.42 times 10 times 0.03. So when you just punch this on your calculator, you have a value of 1.926. Value of 1.926. Question number 2, the value of 4 in this number is the value of 4 there. The position of 4 is the second after the decimal marker or point. So the value of 4 is 0.04. Question number 3. Given that minus 3 is less than or equal to x, then the symbol, normally that symbol is the less than or equal to symbol. This is less than or equal to, it points to the left. For greater than or equal to, it normally points to the right. Question 4. Evaluating 14 on 3 divided by 7 on 2 gives. So we just have to multiply the first by the reciprocal of the second. So that will give us 14 over 3 times 2 over 7. 7 here 1, 7 here 2. So our answer will be equal to 4 on 3. So that gives us 4 on 3. The key is D. Question 4. So question 5 now. Given that number which is shown, to write this number in standard form, you have 3.45. You move the decimal points to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times. So times 10 to the power minus 4, since you are moving it to the right. So we have times 10 to the power minus 4. So the key to this question is B. Question 6. We are given that number, to write that number to 3 significant figures. So the third significant figure is at the second 0 after 5. But the number after it will affect it. So we round up the 737 into 1000. So this gives us 501,000. This special case, 501,000. So the key here is C. Question number 7. A computer can print 1,800 words in 5 minutes. Working at the same rate, the number of words it can print in 7 minutes is, here we can do simple cross multiplication. So we have 5 minutes gives 1,800 words. So in 7 minutes it will give, let's call it x. So our x will be equal to, we cross multiply. So to cross multiply, we'll have 7 times 1,800. All of this divided by 5. And our result will be equal to 2,520. So the key here is A. That brings us to question 8. Given that 5 over 8 of the children in the school are boys, the ratio of boys to girls is, this question is direct. So we can read this question as 5 out of the 8 parts. So we can divide the children into 8 parts, and 5 parts will be boys. How many parts are left for girls? We have 3 parts. So this gives us the ratio. The ratio is 5:3. B. Question 9. The distance between 2 points A and B on map is 7 centimeters. Given that the distance AB is 21 kilometers on the ground, the scale of this map is So the scale is given by the dimensions on paper, that is 7 centimeters, is to real dimension, that is 21 kilometers. So we now express in the same units and simplify. So 7 centimeters will remain 7 centimeters, but we know that 1 kilometer is the same as 100,000 centimeters. So multiply this by 100,000. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So we have 7 here, 1, and we have 7 here, 3. So our result will be equal to 300,000. So our map scale will be 1 is to 300,000. 300,000. So our key here is D. Key here is D. Question 10. An infinite set in the following is, well, the only infinite set that we have here is the set C, because it has no end. An infinite set either has no beginning or has no end. So the only infinite set here is C for question number 10. Question number 11, you are given that set B with elements 1, 2, 3. How many subsets are in the set B? Now the number of subsets of each or of a given set is given by 2 to the power n, where n is the number of elements in that set, and this set we have 3 elements, so this will give us 2 to the power 3. So this set will have 2 to the power 3 subsets B. Question 12, you are given the statement P, he is short, and Q, he is fat. The negation of P and Q is, so normally the negation of P here is, this one is equal to, because P is short, so the negation of P is the opposite, so he is tall. He is tall. Therefore the negation of P and Q will give us he is tall and fat. He is tall and fat. So our key here will be A. He is tall and fat. That is question number 12. Question number 13. We look at the table that has been given to us. So what does this table represent? So in this table, our x will represent, when you look at the table, see that P and Q are true whenever one is true, and they are false only when both are false. And this type of statement is the AND, is the OR statement rather, is the OR, because the OR statement is only false when both are false. So this is the P or Q, the OR statement. The OR statement. So this gives us A as our answer. This gives us A as our answer for question number 13. We can now move to question number 14. Question number 14, you are given that function f of x equals x squared minus 5x minus 6. So to find f of 2, we just have to substitute. So f of 2 will just be equal to 2 squared minus 5 times 2 minus 6, and this will give us 4 minus 10 minus 6. So 4 minus 10 minus 6, and this will give us a value of 4 minus 10 is minus 6, minus 6 minus 6 minus 12, so minus 12. So our key here is D. Question number 15. In the arrow diagram in figure 2, there is a relationship between M and N. What is the domain? The domain just refers to elements in the first set that are being mapped onto elements in the second. So the domain consists of 1, 2, 3, 4. So our domain set has elements 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this corresponds to B. Question 16. Given the function f is such that x is mapped onto 2x minus 3, the inverse function is, well, we can get a shortcut instead of solving. So what they have done here is they multiplied by 2, then the next thing they did was to subtract 3. So our inverse function will be, we take x, instead of subtracting 3, we start with the end. Instead of subtracting 3, we add 3. And now, instead of multiplying by 2, we divide by 2. So our inverse function is x plus 3 on 2c. We can equally solve it. So we say let y be equal to 2x minus 3. Then we solve for x. We'll have y plus 3 being equal to 2x. Dividing both sides by 2, we will have our x to be equal to this. Therefore, you can now replace x by y by x. So we'll have x plus 3 on 2 to be equal to, its function is f, so f inverse of x. So we have the same results. Question 17. In figure 3, the diagram that represents a reflex angle is, question 17, a reflex angle. So what's a reflex angle, by the way? A reflex angle is any angle that is always greater than 180 degrees. Note that an acute angle is 0 to 90, and obtuse angle is from between 90 and 180, and a reflex angle is greater than 180. So the only reflex angle that we have here is the angle, yes, which one? The angle A. Because when you look at A, that angle there is greater than 180 degrees. C is less than 180 degrees. D is exactly 180 degrees, but a reflex angle must be strictly greater than 180 degrees. So the answer here is A. So number 17, we have A for number 17. Then number 18, in the diagram, the plane figure is, if you look at A is a cone, so it's a solid figure. B is a cylinder and it's a solid figure. C is a square. So C is a plane figure, and Z is a solid figure, is a cube. So the only plane figure that we have here is C. So number 18, we have C. Question number 19. The sum of the interior angles of a triangle is, of course, you know that the sum of interior angles for a triangle is 180 degrees, right? Yeah, so we have B. Question 20. We are given the figure 4, which shows two similar cubes. The ratio of their lengths is 1:2. The length of the smaller cube is 5 centimeters. And what will be the volume of the bigger cube? So they've given us the ratios. Small is to big, we have 1:2. So we can do this by, if the length of one side of the smaller one is 5 centimeters, then the bigger one should be times 2. So that gives us 10 centimeters. Therefore, the volume of that cube will be equal to 10 times 10 times 10. And that gives us 1000 cubic centimeters. Alternatively, the students may decide to get the volume of the small one. In this case, you have 5 times 5 times 5 times the volume scale. So that volume scale is to the power 3. So the volume scale here for the bigger one will be times 2 times 2 times 2. So times 2 to the power 3. And this will still give us 1000. And the result here is C, as we just mentioned. Then question number 21. In the figure 5 shown, the lines that enclose the angle theta are Now, this is how we get the angle, the lines that includes the angle. We start at the end, that is at P and at R. So we have PQ and we equally have RQ. So you start outside and move inwards. So we have PQ and RQ. These are the lines that include that angle and called the arcs. So our key here in question number 21 is D. Question number 22. You are given figure 6 with O as the center. If angle SQR is 36 degrees, what is the value of angle theta? That is the value of angle theta. So looking at this diagram very well, you see that you can draw an arc here. This arc should be SR. Instead, this arc subtends an angle here P, and this angle here is theta at the point P. This same arc equally subtends an angle here at Q. Since this is the same arc that subtends the angle, this angle at Q and this angle at P are the same. So if this angle is 36, this one is also 36. So angle theta is 36 degrees. B. Question number 23. In figure 7, we have to find the value of the angle marked Y. That is actually a cyclic quadrilateral inside a square. Well, there is an issue with this question actually, because the two Y values must be the same. Here we have two Y's. What we have here should equally be two Y's. And the only assumption that we can use to solve, let us assume that we both have the two Y's, because if you assume that we have the Y, then there will be no answer there. So let's assume that what was to be given here is 2Y and 2Y. So what will be the value of angle Y? Normally we have to also take into consideration, we have to consider that the diagonal of this passes through the center of the circle. Just draw. This is O. We consider that this is diagonal. So here we have two Y's. Here we equally have two Y's. So now this is the diagonal. This diagonal passes through the center of the circle and is the diameter. So any angle subtended by this diameter must be equal to 90. It means that this angle here must be equal to 90 degrees. And if this 90 degrees is equal to 2Y's, so you have 2Y's is equal to 90 degrees, and our Y will be equal to 45 degrees. Otherwise, we need further information if you have to solve any other thing. So our key here is T. Question number 24. Given the circumference of a circle is 132 centimeters and taking pi's between 2 and 7, what will be the radius? So we know that circumference is given by 2 pi radius, and therefore the radius will be equal to circumference divided by 2 pi. So this will give us the radius to be equal to circumference 132 divided by 2 pi times 22 over 7. Since over 7, I have to send the 7 up, as it essentially says send it up. So when we simplify this, it will give us a value of 21 centimeters. So our key is A. So we have A as our answer. Question number 25. A solid cuboid of length 10 centimeters has a square cross section of side 8 cm. What is the volume? So you see, if it has a square cross section, then the volume can be given by side times length, since the cross section is a square, and this will give us 8 times 8 times 10, 640 cm cube. 640 cm cubed. You know, most students will go and consider 640 cm squared. That's a trap. So the answer here, the key here is D. Number 25, the key is D, not A. Key is D. So the answer must be in cm cube, because you have multiplied volume length by length by length. All right, question number 26. The points 3, 2 and the points 3, 2 in the Cartesian plane xy is found in there. So let us, this is our Cartesian plane. 3 minus 2, x is positive, so it can either be here or here, and y is negative, so this is the only point where this is the only possible place. If this is y and this is x, so that point should be here. So it is found in this is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is the third quadrant, and this is the fourth quadrant. So this point is found in the fourth quadrant. The fourth quadrant. So our key here is A. It's A. Question 27. The coordinates of the midpoint of the line segment joining the points A, 5, 6 and B, minus 1, minus 4 are. So our midpoint is given by the formula x1 plus x2 on 2, comma, y1 plus y2 on 2. And this will give us, when you simplify this, x1 and y1, you have 5 plus minus 1, so this will give us we have 5 plus minus 1 on 2, and then 6 plus minus 4 on 2. Simplifying this will give us the values of 5 minus 1, 4 and 2, 2. Then 6 minus 4, 2 divided by 2, 1. So this is our midpoints. We have the points 2, 1 for question number 27, and that gives us B. Question number 28. Given the equations of the straight lines x plus y equals to 4 and y equals 1 plus x, the coordinates of the point of intersection are. So it's just to solve this simultaneous equation, right? All right, so I will just substitute equation 2 into equation 1, and that will give me x plus, I know that my y is the same as 1 plus x. 1 plus x to be equal to 4. So I've replaced y by this value. So this now give me 2x to be equal to 3. I've carried the 1, I subtracted 1 from both sides, and those students like to say carry. Yeah. So we now divide both sides by 2. So I'm using the language that is easy for students, what they like to use. At times some of those terms may not make sense, but to make them understand better. So this is the value of x. X is 3 on 2. When we now substitute this 3 on 2 into the equation y equals 1 plus x, that will give us y to be equal to 1 plus 3 on 2. And 1 plus 3 on 2 will give us 5 on 2. So our coordinates at this point of intersection, we have 3 on 2 is 1.5, 1.5 for x, and y 5 on 2 is 2.5. So this is the point of intersection, and this gives us C as a key. That was question 28. Question 29. In the expression, what is the coefficient of x? For us to have the coefficient of x in this expression in number 29, we first of all have to expand. So we have 2x times 5. Alright, we have 2x times 5, 10x. And we have 2x times minus 3x, that is 2 times minus 3 is minus 6. And x times x is x squared. So what's the coefficient of x? Coefficient of x here is 10. They have not asked the coefficient of x squared. So our key here is A. Question 30. Given that x equals minus 4 and y equals 9, the value of y minus x squared is, so y minus x squared will be equal to, our y there is 9 minus x squared is minus 4 all squared. It's good to put it in brackets so that you don't make a mistake with the sign. So that gives us 9 minus 16, and 9 minus 16 is equal to minus 7. That is minus 7, right? Yeah, minus 7. So our key here is T. Okay, question number 31. Given the expressions 2xy and 6x squared y, the common factor is, so for the common factor, let us look at 2xy and 6xy. The coefficients, we have 2 and 6. The HCF of 2 and 6 is 2. Then now for the x, you have x and x squared. The HCF is x. Then we have y and y, so it's just y. So this is the highest common factor, 2xy. So the key here is C. The key is C. Question 32. Given that v equals pi radius squared L, expressing r in terms of v, pi, and L gives. So here we have to make r the subject of the formula. So to make r the subject of the formula, we have v, first of all, divide all through by pi L. So we have v over pi L is equal to the radius squared. Now for us to get the radius, you have to take the square root of both sides. So we take the square root of this side and the square root of this side, and that will give us r to be equal to v, all that over pi L square root. And which key is this? Okay, this is B. So our key is B. Our key is B. Now question number 33. And question number 33. The interval represented on the number line is, well, when you look at this interval, you see that at 2 it is open, and at 8 it is also open, and we have something like this. Something like this at 2 and at 8. So this interval is open at 2 and at 8, therefore means that the boundaries are not included. So B is not correct because B includes the boundaries. C is not correct because the left boundary is included. D is not correct because the right boundary is included. So the only correct answer here is A, 2, 8, with the two boundaries not included. Normally this one can equally be written as 2, 8, and with these things facing bit outwards. So this is another way to write it. So our key here is A. Key here is A. Question 34. Please, I hope as we are solving, you have a copy of this paper in your hand and you are following and solving at the same time, because if you are not doing that, then you are not actually doing drill and practice. It's very, very important in mathematics and other science subjects, as you know. You have to solve this paper and not just by watching. For a copy of this paper, you can visit our blog on www.gcmathpanel.blogspot.com, and you have papers for different subjects and a lot of material there. That brings us to question 34. Question 34. The inequality 3 minus 5x greater than or equal to 18. When you solve, we have 3 minus 5x greater than or equal to 18. So first of all, subtract 3 from both sides, or you say carry 3 to the right hand side. So minus 5x should be greater than or equal to, the plus 3 becomes minus 3 on the right hand side. So 18 minus 3 will give us 15. Then now we have to divide all through by minus 5. But note, with In the world of inequalities, whenever you have to divide or multiply by a negative number, you will have to reverse the sign. This one is greater than or equal to. When you reverse it, you become less than or equal to. So whenever you multiply or divide by a negative number, just a negative number, you have to reverse the sign. But for a positive number, it does not affect the sign. So this will now give us our x to be, instead of greater than or equal to be less than or equal to, because I'm dividing by a negative number, 15 over minus 5. And this will give us minus 3. Yeah, this is a trap because many students will divide and they'll forget to change the sign, and most of them will take the answer to be A. And as these guys are very funny, they like to always put the wrong answer around the first answers so that you just stick. So the key here is, for number 34, the key here is C. Question 35. Figure 8 is a network. The number of arcs is number of arcs just means the number of lines from one point to another. So we have, these are the number of the arcs that we have R to T, we have RS, we have ST. Though ST has two directions, we count it's just one arc, just that it is bidirectional. If you ask the number of all that arcs, it have been different. But number of arcs XT, though it's two directions, but it's just a single arc. And then from T to S, the other way, the other route equally is another arc. So we have TS. There are two of them. So we have the one down and the one up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 of them. Alright, so we have B. Question 36. Given 5 to the power 2x equals 125, find the value of x. Well, this is the cheapest general certificate of education mathematics paper that I've seen so far. Maybe we thank the examiners. I'm sure it's due to the transition. This paper is really easy. So we have 5 to the power 2x to be equal to 125. Here, to solve x, we have to make the bases the same since the unknown exists as a power. So we know that 125 can be written as 5 to the power 3, because 125 is 5 times 5 times 5, which is 5 to the power 3. So 5 to the power 2x is equal to 5 to the power 3. Now that the powers are the same, we can equate the bases. Now that the bases are the same, we can equate the powers. So this will give us 2x to be equal to 3. And we divide both sides by 2. X will be equal to 3 on 2. So x will be equal to 3 on 2. That is for question number 36. So we have 3 on 2. The key is C. Question 37. The right angle triangle, the value of h is. When you look at this triangle, we see that no information has been given to us. They have not given any information. So, but there is something we can use. You cannot say that because I'm not giving any information, you have an advantage. No. When you look at the values A, B, C, and D, you find out that in B, there is a 13 there. And we can use Pythagorean triplets or triples to get the solution to this without solving. So for the Pythagorean triples, we have 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to 5 squared. I'm sure all of you know this one. Another one is where all the three are whole numbers. We have 5, we have 12 and 13. Another one we have 6, 8 and 10. So normally the last ones, these last numbers are the ends here, the hypotenuse. So this one corresponds to our equation. So our value there will be equal to 13. So we use 13 as our answer. So the key there is B. So here they wanted the knowledge of Pythagorean triples for question number 37. Question number 38. Given the triangle in figure 10 is a right angle triangle, what is the value of sine x? Sine x is given by, from Socatoire, sine x is equal to opposite side over hypotenuse, and here our opposite side to that angle x is RQ. It's RQ divided by the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is PQ. PQ. So sine x is RQ on PQ. So the key here is C for question number 38. Question 39 reads, in the figure shown, the angle of elevation of x from z is 50 degrees. What is the angle of depression of z from x? So normally this is what we have. In here we have 50 and z here, y and x. So what is the angle of depression of z from x? Now I have to make a horizontal line, and this will be the angle of depression d. But we know that this angle d, since this is a z, let me actually indicate, since this is a z line, you can start this is a z, or the transversal of a parallel line. So this angle here d must be equal to this angle here, 50 degrees. So therefore means that my d is equal to 50 degrees. Therefore means the angle of depression is equally 50 degrees. So we have A as answer for question number 39. Question 40. Given that A is equal to 5i plus 7j's and B is equal to 4i's minus 5j's, then find the vector A minus 2b's. To find the vector A minus 2b's. So A minus 2b should just be equal to, my vector A there is 5i's plus 7j's. So 5, 7 minus 2 times b. My b is 4 minus 5. So when we simplify this, we will have 5 minus 2 times 4, 8, and 7 plus, that's minus 2 times minus 5 plus 10. So finally we are having minus 3 and 17. So minus 3, 17. So the key here is D. Key is D. Key is D. Question 41. We have the vector OP to be equal to that. What is the direction of the vector OP? So the first thing is that OP is in the first quadrant. So the direction is given by arc tan y component on x component, or it's a tan inverse of y over x, and this will give us tan inverse of my y component is 1, x component is 2, and this will give you on the calculator a value of 26.6 degrees. Now, if you are using purple calculator, you will press 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. You press second function tan, it will give you 26.6 degrees. If you are using a higher calculator, you have to first of all enter it directly as it is here. You press shift, you press tan, and then you press 0, you enter 0.5 and you enter equal to, it will give you the answer. So depending on the calculator you're working with, know what you have to do. And you're working with purple, make sure the calculator is in degrees, not in radians, because this angle is given in degrees. If it's in radians, we're giving you a different answer that you don't even understand what has been given. So be very careful with this. Question number 42. Two vectors AI and AI plus 2j's and 6i's plus 4j's are said to meet at right angles. The value of A is, so from question number 42, if these vectors meet at right angles, what does it mean? It means that normally their dot product should give you us a value of 0. Dot product will give us 0. So it therefore means A2 dot 64 should give us 0. And how do we do this? A times 6 is 6a's plus 2 times 4 is 8 should give us 0. And when we solve for this, A will be equal to minus 8 on 6, which is the same as minus 4 on 3. Minus 4 on 3. So this is giving us the answer C for question number 42. Now let us look at question number 43. In question number 43, we are given that matrix, and looking at that matrix, they want us to give the order of the matrix. And how do we get the order of a matrix? The order of a matrix is given by number of rows by the number of columns. So here, how many rows do we have? So let us count and see the number of rows that we have. So for 3, 1, 0, and minus 5, 7, 6, this is a matrix. Let us count. So this is row 1 and this is row 2. So we have 2 rows by how many columns? This is column 1, column 2, column 3, so by 3. So this is the order of this matrix. It is 2 rows, 1, 2, by 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. So this gives us D as answer. So the result here is D, number 43, D. Number 44, you have the matrix M equals that and N equals that. So what is M plus N? So for M plus N, we are just adding the corresponding entries. So our M plus N will be equal to this matrix. So you have in matrix M at position 1, 1, you have 3. At N, at that same position 1, 1, you have 5. So 3 plus 5. Then position 1, 2, you have 4 plus 2. So you can do the rest, right? 1 plus minus 3. Please make sure that you talk along as we solve. 1 plus minus 3. And then we have minus 2 plus 1. So what will be our final answer? We have 8, 6, minus 2, minus 1. So this is the answer. 8, 6 minus 2, minus 1. So the key here is C. Question 45. The image of the matrix XY translated by the matrix 6, 2 is minus 3, minus 2. What is the matrix XY? Well, a translation is done by addition. That's the translation. So that it moves from one point to another. So for us to have this matrix that was translated xy, we have xy was translated by the matrix 6 2. So plus 6 2. And the image is -3 -2. So from here we solve for xy, we will have to be equal to, when you carry this one to the right hand side, or you subtract this translation matrix from both sides, we'll have -9 -4. So this is what you have, -9 -4. So the key here is D for question 45. Question 46, we have the modes of the scores that and so on. So when you look at all of these numbers here, the number that occurs highest for question 46, the number that occurs the highest number of times is 2. And 2 occurs how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So 2 occurs the highest number of times. So the mode is 2. The mode is equal to 2. This gives us B. Question 46. All right, question 47. You are given that frequency distribution table. The number of classes in the above frequency distribution is number of classes. So let us count the number of classes. 1 to 5 is a class. 6 to 10 is another class. 11 to 15 is another class. 16 to 20 is another class, and 21 to 25 is another class. So how many classes are here altogether? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 classes. The answer here is D. So 46, we have 47. We have how many classes? We have 5 classes. The answer is C. 47C. All right, 48. Question 48. The lower quartile of a cumulative frequency curve is at. Know that lower quartile is also called the 75th the 25th percentile. Lower quartile occurs at the 25th percentile, while the upper quartile occurs at the 75th percentile. Normally, the 50th percentile is the median. The 50th percentile is the median, or they also call it the interquartile range, as it is called. So the semi. All right, so our key here is A. Question number 49. Question 49. Given the set S with elements from 1 to 10, the probability of selecting a prime number from set S is. The first thing is to get the prime numbers in this set. The first prime number is 2. Next is 3. We have 5 and we have 7. Note that the prime number is a number that has only 2 factors, 1 and itself. And 2 is the only prime number that is an even number. All other prime numbers are odd numbers. So the number of prime numbers here, we have 4 prime numbers. So the probability will be, how many prime numbers are here? 4. How many numbers are there in total? 10. So probability will be 4 on 10, which you can simplify here 2, here 5. That giving us 2 on 5. So probability is to fit. So 49, our key is D. 49, our key is D. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and to visit our blog and follow us. You can equally follow us on Facebook every Sundays. We upload our lessons there if you cannot get to us on Facebook. So please don't forget to subscribe and to equally follow us. Equally, if you have some papers that are missing, or you check on our site and there's some papers that are not there and you can help, please help. Actually, we don't sell papers, so when you send to us and you upload, other students too from other difficult areas can have access. So we are counting on you so much. Question 15. Given the events E and F such that the probability of E and F is equal to the probability of E times probability of F, then the events E and F are set to be, normally when the probability of two events is equal to the product of their probabilities, then we saw these events are independent events. So events E and F are independent events. So the key is B. Thank you so much and stay tuned. We have already uploaded paper 2, sections A and section B for ordinary level, and the intermediate level will be available this week. So please, since this is paper 1 of the intermediate level, check and also watch the correction for intermediate level for all industrial excluding IH, and also for all commercial including IH. Thank you so much. Welcome to GCE Math Panel, and bye bye.